Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Meet the Artist series. My name is Tommy Hensel, and I am the director of the Fine and Performing Arts Center at Moraine Valley Community College. For those of you who haven't been watching, Moraine Valley is located in Palos Hills, Illinois. Palos Hills is a southwest suburb of Chicago. We're still in Cook County, so we're considered a suburb. And like everyone in the world lately, our theater closed in March, and we had quite a few shows left for this season. So we initially took all of those shows and moved them, and then we had to move them again. So we were sort of working with the situation, and what we decided we were going to do is, since we couldn't present anything for you live on stage, and we couldn't actually even get to the stage to do live streams, we decided we would reach out to some of the artists who have appeared on our stage in the past few seasons and ask them if they would be interested in joining us for a Meet the Artist series. So far, almost everyone has said yes to me. And so I'm very excited that all of these artists are taking so much time to just sit down and chat with me. And like everybody who has seen this before will know, it really is more about me just having a nice conversation with friends. So tonight I'm excited because we've invited the four amazing performers from the group Farewell Angelina to join us. We're having a little technical issue earlier, and I believe that it's been worked out in the interim while I've been chatting at the beginning of this. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to share a video from Farewell Angelina, and then I'll come back and I'll invite them into the studio. So let's start with a wonderful video from Farewell Angelina, and then as soon as the video is done, I see the ladies are just getting the camera hooked up now. We'll bring them into the studio. So let's start with a video.
I keep it simple, don't need a lot, 'cause I'm content with the little that I got. My fire's burning and my wheels are turning, and there ain't nothing to slow me down. I got some sunshine, some cheap wine, and it don't cost much to have a good time. Got some rock and roll on the radio. Some people say I got a ways to go, but don't buy me any worries, 'cause I can't afford to solve them. Hey, you know what they say, more money, more problems. Just for the record, gonna let the record play, and there ain't nothing that can bother me today, no. And all that stressing, it's too expensive. I can't ask for more without a price to pay. But I got some sunshine, got some cheap wine, and it don't cost much to have a good time. Got some Sheryl Crow on the radio. Some people say I got a ways to go, but don't buy me any worries, 'cause I can't afford to solve them. Hey, you know what they say, more money, more problems, yeah. Hey, you know what they say. Well, I got some sunshine, got some cheap wine, and it don't cost much to have a good time. Got some rock and roll on the radio, yeah. Some people say I got a ways to go, but don't buy me any worries, 'cause I can't afford to solve it. Hey, you know what they say, more money, more problems, yeah. Oh, yeah, you know what they say. More money, more promises. Yeah.
Well, hello, ladies. How are you? So I'm going to put up my little, there we go. Yay, it's so great to see you.
Hi.
So thanks for joining me tonight. I know that you're on tour right now, right?
Yes.
So where are you tonight?
We just got home. Like, you made it in the nick of time. We just got off the plane, and we're in my living room right now. We came from Minnesota.
Well, there you go. That's great. Well, I'm glad that we all made it together. You know, I'm dialing in from my kitchen, as everyone has known.
I hope you don't mind. We decided to make it a little happy hour party.
Oh, I'm with you. Normally, I'm drinking wine, but I drank too much wine last night, so I'm drinking water tonight.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to that. I'm actually in the middle of my wine certification training. I'm getting ready to start my level 3 wine certification. So.
What? Okay. Maybe that's the famous Simone. We need to talk.
Yeah, we definitely need to talk. So I'm really excited when Tony Klein, who's our mutual friend, who is one of the agents who represents you, told me that you were actually touring this summer. I was so excited. So where have you been recently, and what kind of performances are you doing?
So we're doing a bunch of drive-in shows, which have been so fun because they're safe, they're socially distanced, and everyone pulls up. We've played a bunch of times in Iowa and Minnesota and Texas, and
Where there's lots of room.
in Georgia.
Oh, in Georgia.
Yep. So they've been safe shows, outdoor shows, and just great crowds. I mean, everybody is really hungry, one, to get out of their house, two, to hear some music, right? Because music is healing. And frankly, for us, it's been like a huge gift because we are ready to get out there and, do it,
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal because, as you know, there's so many performers just can't do what they do in that kind of environment, in that live sort of drive-in. And I think the whole concept of drive-in is genius. I think the whole it's like a drive-in movie theater, only live.
Yeah, we are so lucky that our agency that books us out on the road, East Coast Entertainment, and all of our shows that we kind of had lined up for the fall, and even some past the fall, they said, okay, we know these are unprecedented times. We know we need to make a new plan. And all the shows that we've been doing were shows that were basically scheduled either for a later time or for that day. And they just said, you know what, we're going to make this so that the show must go on. Yeah. So everyone's been so supportive and wonderful. And, a lot of our touring friends here in Nashville are kind of grounded right now. And we've just been so thankful for the people that work with us and for us that they're just really getting creative to make things happen.
Well, that's awesome. And just because I know you and I've jumped in, for those people who don't know you, can the three of you introduce yourselves so that people know who we're talking to?
Yeah, I'm Nicole Witt, and from Springfield, Missouri originally, but have been in Nashville for a while. So
I'm Ashley Gearing, originally from Springfield, Massachusetts.
I'm Andrea Young from Alton, Illinois, which is just outside St. Louis, not Springfield, Illinois, although that's
close
enough.
We're going to tell people that.
Yeah, that would be way too weird if you were all from someplace called Springfield. That would be
right. And it's like The Simpsons. Yeah. But we all met here in Nashville. We've all been in Nashville for a long time, chasing our dreams. And, Farewell Angelina was born by us just meeting in different ways and kind of having the same common love and goals for music and for our future. And
for writing songs together too. I mean, that's something that we're all really passionate about.
Going forward, and now we see each other more than we see our families.
I think that happens with a lot of touring groups, So I have so many different questions that I need to ask you tonight, and There's one that I've asked everybody. I'll save it for a little bit later because one of the things you just brought up, I never had a chance to ask you this before, is for you, how does the songwriting process work? So who does what, and who drives? How does it drive when you're thinking of a new song?
It's different every time. Like, it depends on the day. It depends if we're writing by ourselves or if we're writing with a co-writer. And it really depends on the groove and the mood and the, whatever. So sometimes it's a, content, like we've got to write this today, like this lyric today. And sometimes it's driven by, we just want to write like a beach sounding song or an up tempo or whatever it is. And but something that's always like Farewell Angelina, we're always trying to think of like, okay, what will be good for our band?
What does Angelina say?
Yeah. What does Angelina say?
Alicia.
What does Angelina say? And what is a hit song for Farewell Angelina?
And it's actually cool because we've written songs everywhere because we are on the road. We actually we raised almost $30,000 to create our last record. It's fully fan funded, and one of the prizes for making that record was if someone bid a certain amount of money to help us make the record, they could write a song with us. Oh. So one of our fans actually did that and came and met us while we were on the road. And
at the Hampton Inn lobby.
We had like a few hours before the show.
We had to run off like a kid's pizza party.
Right.
I had to get mean with the little 5-year-olds. I'm like, listen, kids, you're gonna have to settle down. We gotta write a song. And so we wrote this song with one of our fans who, he's musically talented, but he doesn't do music for a profession. And so he brought us this idea and we just rolled with it. So we're really used to kind of looking at each other, kind of figuring out who's great for which part, and not only writing lyrics and melodies, but writing harmonies and background parts with it, which is unique for us. Yeah. And so on that topic, we're doing that again, where we are starting the farewell fundraiser to make our next record now. We just started. So we're kind of starting that process over, interacting with the fans and all that as well. So
that's awesome. So the song that we just played, the video was for a song called More Problems.
Yes.
So who wrote that one? How did that one happen?
Ashley wrote that one. I wrote that one. So we've all had different kind of experiences in our solo careers before we became a band. And I was signed to a record label for a lot of years before I left the label and, took a little time off and then joined this band. And I was really frustrated with my label at this time. I said, let's release a single, like when we're releasing new music. And I was on the phone, headed to a songwriting appointment I was on the phone with the president of my label, and he just said, we're waiting on that next song. We're just waiting on that next song, which is what I feel like a lot of label execs say when they're trying to just put you off until the next thing. And he kept saying, we're just waiting on that hit. And I said, well, I'm just going to go write you a hit right now. And and I went in to the writing room with Kurt Gibbs and my good friend Will Nance. Will Nance wrote a song for Brad Paisley called She's Everything.
Oh, yeah.
That you might know. And he's had a bunch of other hits too. But I think we wrote that song in like an hour because we were like, let's write this sassy, fun, song. And it never was released for my solo project. And then when I joined the band, the girls were like, hey, we're going to make a record. And Nicole called me and was like, you can pick any song you want to sing on this next record, but you're going to sing More Problems, right? I was like, yes. Okay. And then we got to make a really fun music video at one of our dear friends' house in 30A, Florida. So that music video was shot at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Oh.
Sunrise.
Rough, Tommy,
So
rough
on the beach there, we were in a very exclusive community. And I don't think anyone was used to seeing like a lot of people gallivanting on the beach like that. And we're like in rhinestone dresses at 4:30 in the morning. And like, so, and it was like an older neighborhood. Yes. And so they're, you know, the type of people that get up at like 5 a.m. and have their little coffee. Dogs, you know, dog walking. So we're like with a boombox videographer at 4 a.m. on the beach, catching that sunrise. And I'm just waving to every old grandpa on his porch, like, hey.
In your rhinestone dress.
In my rhinestone dress. And then, you know, we just drank White Claws and laid by the pool the rest of the day.
That's awesome. And I think, you know, a lot of people don't know, you know, they see these music videos and they don't really conceptualize everything that had to happen to make that 3 minutes of video, because there's so much that has to go on. So I have a question. This is something that I never asked you also when you were at our theater in the fall, is what I know where the band name came from. So you can let people know that if they don't know, but I'm really curious as to why. What was it about that song that really drove you to say, we're going to name a band this?
Well, it starts with a love for Bob Dylan. For those of you that don't know, Farewell Angelina is a Bob Dylan song. Joan Baez cut it and actually was the one who made it famous. Bob, I think, has only released it on one record, and it was later, like maybe even in the 90s. But apparently when he wrote the song, it was about evolution and change. He had been doing acoustic, folk-driven music, and he wanted to add electric instruments, and there were rebuttals. People did not necessarily want that to happen. There was, you know, you don't belong in folk anymore. And his attitude apparently was poured into the song that there really weren't any borders, that he could make the music that he thought was important to make. And I think for our band, I had been trying to come up with something that, you know, would be a good band name that wasn't like Flower Doodle or something, like a lot of right? Flower Doodle. Wow. And okay. I thought, you know, what if it was
the band that after, you know, when Nicole and I are going to make this band.
Right. Flower Doodle. I'm waiting for Flower Doodle now.
And I thought maybe it would be cool to find a song title that had a woman's name in it. And so I hadn't even thought through the story of Farewell Angelina or anything. I just started going and looking, you know, doing internet searches, trying to find that song, you know, that has the woman's name in it. And there are some lists that people had made, and you would be surprised how many songs have women's names in them. Yeah. But we were going through the list and we saw that and it kind of caught our ear. But then when we went and really did the research, we thought, wow, music without boundaries, something that's about evolution, we're in.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because today I had not listened to that song in, I can't even tell you how long. So today I actually went onto YouTube and found the Joan Baez version and listened to it and really listened to the lyrics for the first time since, you know, time began. It's a beautiful song. It's
haunting. I mean, it really does. It is kind of it is that farewell. And her voice on it, it's like a ghost, beautiful ghost.
And the cool thing the album was named that too.
Bob Dylan and Joan Baez both don't really have a genre. And we kind of think of ourselves like that, like we're a little bit of everything. And just, you know, what Andrew was saying, the evolution is like, we're constantly picking new things and, you know, transforming.
Yep, it's funny because I remember I told you this when you were at the theater. When we had your show on sale, and people would call and ask me because they didn't really know who you were. Some of the people who were buying tickets, they said, you know, well, what are they like? I said, well, you know, go to YouTube. I said, but in some ways, when I first heard them, I thought of a cross between the Dixie Chicks and the Waylon Jennings. So yeah, because you've got that the instruments and the songwriting that you hear from, and the whole beautiful connection that you hear from the Dixie Chicks, but you have that harmony from people like Red Molly and the Waylon Jennings and people like that had that beautiful tight harmony.
Thank you.
Yeah. So have you all, as from the beginning, have you always been harmony driven like that? Your songs all seem to have that beautiful blend. Oh, I lost you there for a minute. Oh, there you go. You're back.
My mom's fault.
Oops, you froze up there.
Decline. I hope she's back. Yes. Sorry, continue.
No. So the question was like, have you always, have your songs from the beginning all had that harmony driven kind of feel to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think since the very beginning. I
Mhm.
mean, it kind of started out, Nicole and I have been playing together the longest, and that is how it was born. It was
sure.
it was forged in harmony.
It's kind of like we all, as you've seen in our show, we all sing different parts of the lead. We all kind of take turns, but then we all take turns supporting each other with the harmony. And then there's times when it's just pure harmony, or, there's a time when the fiddles almost have their own voice as well. So now, we're a trio now. And we've kind of joked like the fiddles is our fourth voice. And so a lot of times, I don't know how these two girls do it, but they're like playing and singing at the same time. It's easier for me to sing and play the guitar. I don't know how they do that, but it's just, something unique that I think we're kind of the only ones chasing that lane right now, which is fun.
Yeah, no, you are, and that's why I think your sound is so distinctive, and it's when if I'd never met you, after listening to some of your songs, I would immediately know it was one of your songs if I heard it, because you've got that really distinctive sound.
Good. That means we're doing something right.
Yep.
Well,
So
because we're going in the studio on Friday, and we are about to make new music, and we've been thinking a lot about, that, and it's a goal of ours. So to hear you say that really means a lot.
No, it's true. It's and for people who are watching today, definitely if you didn't make it to the show back in the fall when they were at our theater, go on YouTube, go to their website. You can buy the music, you can buy the CDs off the website, I believe, but you can also check out some of the videos as well.
Yes. All
and
farewellangelinamusic.com.
Yep, and here we go. So this is the website, farewellangelinamusic.com. I just put it up at the bottom of the screen. And we'll come back to that in a minute. And then for their social, on Instagram and Facebook, it's at Farewell A Music. So Farewell A for Angelina Music. So I'll put these back up later in the broadcast too. So here's the question that I've been asking everybody who's been on this show. So it's going to have to get answered 3 times because it's an individual question. But I'm always fascinated to find out from people, when did it start for you as a kid? Like, when did you get interested in music, and when did you know this is what I want to do?
You go first.
Tommy, I can't remember when I didn't. It was literally from the day that I could sing, I guess. I mean, my parents said when I was 3 years old, they took me to the Opry and they saw me dancing in the aisles. And I, was playing piano at like 6 and violin at 8, and was involved with choirs and orchestras and all that. And then I started, and I really don't even know why, but I wrote my first song when I was 16, and I never looked back. Like, there was never any other plan. And I really, I tried to quit about 9 years ago, just kind of fed up with maybe the business side of things. And so I was like, wow, I've had enough of this. And I quit for like 6 months, and I could not quit. I mean, my brain, I'm just wired that way. And I wake up in the middle of the night with song ideas, and it was like, I've tried to quit. And I couldn't. So I think it's just, it's another limb of my body. So, and these guys, it's like an unbelievable thing every night to get to sing with the quality that I get to sing with every night and play with every night. Incredible musicians and songwriters and people. And so that's it. There is nothing else.
Yeah.
I think for me, I just thought that everyone sang and everyone came up with melodies in their head, and everyone had this weird kind of like, I never had anyone that taught me a harmony or anything. I just would sing harmony with the radio. And my mom didn't even know what I was doing. She just thought I was singing to the, she's, was not in music at all. And I think I went to Catholic school for 8 years growing up, and I was very diligent. We would go to mass with school every Tuesday morning, and we would learn these hymns, and I would sing so loud and so proud, to the point, very young in my little uniform, and the music director asked me to lead everybody. Shocker. Loud mouth. And so I started singing solos, and I started getting the other kids excited, as excited as I was for music time. And then the music director said to my mom, like, she's going to, she has the bug, you're gonna have to do something about this. And so my mom, would drive me around to my piano lessons and my guitar lessons and my singing lessons. And then when I was like 8 years old, people were asking me to sing these hymns for their wedding. And they're like, we'll pay you $500, which, wow. In 97, $500.
Hey, in 2020.
Come on, yeah.
So I was like, 7, 8 years old, getting paid $500 to sing in the choir loft for somebody's wedding mass. And then I think it just started to happen. And, one thing happened to the next. And I moved to Nashville came to Nashville when I was 11, but officially moved here as soon as I was emancipated at 18, and, just met these girls soon after. And, the journey continues.
Awesome.
I think for me, the beginning actually starts with my mom.
Show the visual of little Andrea.
So my mom had decided, she had 4 brothers, and she decided that when she had kids, she was going to have 4 daughters to replace all of those boys that she had to grow up with. And she did, because everything she willed into existence has happened. And she was at college and saw little kids carrying violin cases, and she wanted to know what they were doing. So she went to the music department, even though she wasn't necessarily musical, and asked how she could get her kids into the program. And she didn't have any kids yet. And so they gave her all the directives. Like, you had to take, as a teaching at home parent, you had to take, because there were regular lessons, group lessons, and teaching at home as a parent. And they told her she had to have 2 years of lessons before she could have a child start. So when my mom got pregnant with me, she decided it was time for her to start taking violin lessons.
Wow.
And yes.
2-year-old Andrea.
So when I was 2, that's I don't know that I remember my first lesson or anything like that, but my first memories, they're all violin lessons. And not necessarily because of what you'd think. There was a vending machine, and I remember I could get anything I wanted out of the vending machine if I did a good job at the lesson. And so,
bribery.
and so, yeah, that was it. So, I just, people, I did Suzuki violin, which is learning how to play like you're learning language. And so I don't think about playing. I just play. And the other things came later. I didn't necessarily understand that it would turn into this kind of career. I thought I would be playing in a symphony. And boy, am I thankful it's this. This is where the lively people
Let me
are.
tell you, though, we still have to bribe her sometimes, right?
That's true. That's how I got this today.
So we have a question from one of our audience. Mary Stewart wants to know, what has been the highlight of your career so far?
Ooh. Go ahead first.
I don't know.
Probably,
Well, maybe our CMT videos.
probably.
Those have been, I mean, we've had some really great shows, and we've traveled, to Indonesia, Malaysia, all across Europe on tour. So definitely, all of that is a highlight.
That's the highlight for me, because I mean, we went overseas like 7 times in the past year to play music. And for me, I had never left the country before joining this band.
And now we're officially cultural ambassadors.
Yes,
of the USA.
yes.
I always have wanted to get those stamps on my passport, but I kind of made myself a little bit of a vow, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could go over there for a purpose and for, a real special thing? And that's what this band has done. I mean, we, like Andrea's mom, we make plans and we go after them and we do the work, and being called cultural ambassadors for the US is pretty cool, because it's, our people trusting us and liking us enough to say, all right, we trust you to represent us in a different country, which is kind of scary because, we like wine. But
So talk to me a little bit about the you said it was the Country Music Awards, right?
Yes.
So that was right. I remember that was right after you performed at our theater, because I think you were just getting ready to go do that.
CMT Awards.
Yeah.
So we were
CMA Awards.
CMA Awards. We've done like the ACM after party. There's been a lot of milestones where we are among our peers in the country music world. With the music videos that you see up on our website and stuff, we have videos as independent artists that we have spent, blood, sweat, and tears creating. We don't have this huge budget like Carrie Underwood does, but we were on the CMT countdown right next to her, which was crazy. And, we're number 1 for 6 weeks.
Yes.
With our Ghosts video that you can find on our website too.
And More Problems that you played earlier was actually debuted on Billboard.
Yeah.
Wow. So actually, that was like a perfect lead-in, because you sent me 2 links today as potential videos to play during this broadcast, and the second one is the video for Ghosts.
Yes.
So before I play it, give me a little background on it, because it's got such a specific story to it. Is there something you can say without giving too much away?
Well, I can say that if you've heard of the Marshall Tucker Band, that it was inspired by an original member named George McCorkle, who wrote the song Fire on the Mountain by himself. And we send it out to all of our musical heroes every night when we perform it.
It was filmed in the legendary Printer's Alley, downtown Nashville. So if you guys have ever been down the little alley, along Broadway, we illegally snuck down there. Well, we weren't illegal, but like we parked illegally.
Yes, very illegal.
And so we're like strutting down in our, once again, sequin dresses. A lot of people staring.
It was freezing.
It was so cold. But we had this really cool vision, and it, exceeded our expectations.
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to share my screen and play that video for everybody right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
One sheet of paper, a beat up guitar, a dream no one else believes in but your own bleeding heart. Half empty bottle, you're craving a smoke. The only friend you have tonight are the words that you wrote. When you're falling to pieces, haunted by that lonesome sound, you call on those angels flying too close to the ground. It's those familiar voices They're coming from the other side. Even the ghosts are singing tonight. Empty bar stools. It's 3 a.m. Feeling like you're singing to yourself, 'cause nobody else is listening. Grab 2 bills from the tip jar. You make your way to the door. And as you walk into the car, you ask the stars, what the hell am I doing this for? When there's fire on the mountain, beneath that pink sky, you know just what will help you make it through the night. It's those familiar voices, they're coming from the other side. Even the ghosts are singing tonight. They were poets and preachers, rebels and healers, and they've all been there before. So when you fall into pieces, haunted by that lonesome sound, you call all those angels flying too close to the ground. When you fall into pieces, haunted by that lonesome sound, you call all the angels flying too close to the ground. A choir of dreamers, they're coming from the other side. Even the ghosts are singing tonight. Yeah, all of those ghosts are singing tonight. There's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there.
I muted myself. Woo! Awesome. I love
We know
song. That's a beautiful video, but I love that song. It's just such a gorgeous song. So now you've been touring the summer. You're obviously home right now, but are you headed out again to tour some more? So what's next in the tour?
We are like in October, but we're actually in the month of September. We're recording a new record. So yeah, we're really, really excited. We've been writing a bunch for quite a while, and just stockpiling songs and trying to figure out like what's going to go on the project and all that. And it's starting to do this. It's starting to take form, and so yeah, we're.
So what's what's the sort of hopeful date for the release of the next album?
That's rough.
Well, we're hoping for potentially like the end of January. There will be some singles that will
I think
be revealed on the journey to January.
Journey to January, and we're just
Journey to
we're
a new thing.
Journey to January because we're ready for 2020 to
Yes.
2021.
Amen.
You know, like I think we're just ready for a new year and new us, new music, new everything. So this is going to be a time, you know, I think when this pandemic hit, you know, we're all family here, and we kind of just rallied together and said, no, we're not going to focus on the negatives of what's canceled and what's not happening. We're going to use this time to transform, to look inwards, you know, to do some more lives, do more creative work. So we have been doing just that, and honestly have been busier than ever. You know, it's a lot of people are bored at their house, and I'm like kind of wishing that I was bored again.
I'm gonna be bored tomorrow. Do not call.
You deserve at least one boring day after you've been traveling and touring. You've got to have at least that one down day to do nothing.
Yep. And
So-
Tommy, how have you been during this time? Are you hanging in there? And
You know, yeah. I mean, personally, I went through I think all of us have been going through similar kinds of ups and downs. And I went through the initial phase of, you know, nothing made sense, and I was kind of panicking. And then I got chill, and then I got really bored. And then I decided, like you did, okay, I live alone, so I've been quarantining by myself in this apartment for 160 something days now. And I have gone out a few times, and I'm going back to work one day a week. But really, I reached a point where I'm like, okay, I could sit around and stare at the wall and feel sorry for myself, or I could use this time to do some like work on myself. I've been doing a lot of I did a serious Marie Kondo thing to my apartment. I like deep cleaned and sorted.
My house?
Yeah, really. I love it though. I would enjoy it probably. And then I mentioned earlier that I decided to finally pull the trigger on my wine certification training.
love it.
Cheers to that. So I finished level 2, and I'm starting level 3 on September 24th. And that exam is in November. So fingers crossed, by the end of the year, I'll have my 3rd level wine certification. So.
Next time we see you in person, we want a full-on experience.
I will do a full-on wine tasting with you the next time.
Tommy, we love food in this band, so can we make like a pairing happen?
We know Tommy does too. I mean, Tommy, he's like going to teach us something.
Right, I know it.
Well, definitely. If you, I think I follow you on Instagram, but I don't know if you're following me back. But
yes, we follow you.
Okay, so you see pictures of food and wine and cocktails all the time, because that's pretty much what I post.
Yes, we were best friends when you mentioned that we would be having food and wine after our show.
Yeah, the band account follows you in all of our individual accounts.
Good. Well, good. But yeah, so and interestingly enough, you know, during the pandemic, all the restaurants obviously shut down, so there were no more restaurant reviews for the website that I write for until about 3 weeks ago. I've now had 2. And I've got another one coming up in another 10 days or so. So the restaurants are asking writers to come back in to help drive business.
Good. That's awesome.
So Mary Stewart asked another interesting question. Any memorable moments with your audiences that you could share with us? Something that stands out.
Indonesia. No, Malaysia, the school.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was amazing. Where all the kids, and it was blazing hot. Okay, tell that story.
I'm trying to remember the little town that we were in, but we took a van
From Kota Kinabalu.
Yes, and it was kind of over this mountain pass, and we were all kind of like getting a little bit sick because
we're literally in Borneo, driving on
gravel
Borneo
roads,
roads.
you know, over this mountain pass. And,
And I was in the way back getting crushed.
And I had spilled my entire breakfast on myself, and so I didn't get to have breakfast, and I had no coffee, and I was secretly crying in the back of the van.
I was crying for you. So we're having an awful day.
Yes,
And then we get there.
We came up over this mountain pass, and there was this school, and all these kids greeted us with a dance that they had like prepared for us.
They were dressed.
It's on our Instagram, by the way.
These beautiful
outfits, costumes,
handmade, hand sewn.
Yeah.
So if you look on our highlights, we have some like world tour highlights on our Instagram, and it will show you all of our experiences from Indonesia and Malaysia. But continue.
yeah. So anyway, so they fed us lunch, which was really cool.
Very cultural.
Exchange for sure. And then we performed for these kids, and there was probably, I'm going to guess, like 4 or 5 schools like put together in this kind of outdoor courtyard. And our U.S. ambassador to Malaysia kind of introduced us, and we got to be friends with him. And
well, and you have to talk about when we walked on the sidewalk. You kind of had to walk around this winding sidewalk to get to the stage. And all the little children were out there in the beating hot sun, no shade. And they're all sitting there. And it was amazing because it was silent. Like, I know at my school growing up, we would have been having like,
it was silent when I told them to be silent. But then
until we walked up and
we were Justin Bieber. Okay,
Yes.
you would have thought that Justin Bieber was with us the way they were screaming.
and I felt really cool. It was like absolute silence to like the most loud, deafening noise ever.
yes.
And then when we started playing the show, we thought, you know what, let's have it, because there was a kind of this open courtyard in front of us, and we thought, let's let the kids come down here
And
so
get
they can get
close,
closer to us.
That was my fault.
The
teachers were like, no. And I was like,
and so we did it on the microphone. We're like, come on down. And from all of the hills surrounding, the children all ran into this courtyard.
Probably
And-
like 4,000 or 5,000 people. Like if there was a lot of people.
I mean, the courtyard was reasonably sized, but
Yeah.
not for that many
That many
people.
people. Yeah.
And it was like the best concert I've ever been to. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm actually at ours.
And we were singing, we have, you know, in our show, there's a period where we put some of our favorite pop songs into a medley. And I don't know that a lot of the kids knew the pop songs. I mean, they're very well-known songs. Some of them recognized them, you could tell.
They did Katy Perry.
It was almost like even if they didn't know the Katy Perry song, we could teach them the song
Quickly.
and so they started singing with us after they knew we were already singing. It was so loud and so beautiful, and I think we were all kind of trying not to cry. Oh no!
And the girls that
Yes.
So-
Okay.
Oh, this is crazy.
So
Before we sang,
I don't know how they even found cowboy hats and the outfits, but 4 girls, 4 just
and one boy.
yeah, oh yes, and one boy. We had our drummer with us, so they kind of copied our band, and they were dressed up in little cowgirl outfits, and they came out and they sang "Women and Wine."
But they changed the words.
They did change the words, which was good because we were like waiting for the chorus. And we're like, oh my gosh.
Wait, was it sunshine? No.
Oh man.
Pour gold in this glass because that color gold
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
never looked so good.
Yeah.
It was
It was like sunshine and light.
friendship.
Friendship and light.
That's right. That's right.
I was
Yeah,
sobbing.
it was cool.
They were the cutest.
Yes.
Like they're singing our song and they're looking at us like, do you like it? And I'm like,
We're trying not to cry.
I'm trying to adopt them. And just
awesome.
like,
It was a roller coaster of emotions that day.
it was so sweet.
That's awesome. You know, so many performers that I know who have done those tours in places like Malaysia and Indonesia, in Korea. A lot of those countries over there seem so responsive to your style of music. It's amazing how, and even my friend Robin Spielberg, who is a pianist, who sings a lot of her own stuff, but plays familiar things, but mostly when she tours, she's playing her own stuff. Said she felt like a total rock star in South Korea, that she felt like she was like Cher, because people like followed her around and they knew all of her songs. And, you know, it was amazing.
Yes, we felt those same vibes.
We looked a lot different, you know, than a lot of the people, especially me, because
She's 6 foot tall.
I was wearing heels, like boots, you know, everywhere I went. So they would like look at Andrea and they would like touch her hair because they'd never seen blonde hair before. And then they'd like look at me and they'd say, "So large."
All the kids would come around and hug me.
It's just like so. Well, they're like, "Ooh." And it was just so funny. funny, and they're like touching our faces, and we looked so different than them. And a lot of the places that we went, you know, they would only see people that look like us, maybe on TV, maybe not, you know, maybe they'd never even seen someone that looked like us. And, you know, we didn't speak the same language as them, but when we started singing, even if they didn't understand what the language that we were singing meant, we were connecting with them, and they were, you know, connecting with us. And that's the beauty of music, you know.
Music, it's amazing. You know, I love lyrics. I'm always going to listen to the lyrics, but even if I'm listening to a song in a language that I don't have the slightest clue what they're saying, if the music is compelling enough and the person singing that music is feeling it, you get it. You pick it up. And you're right. I think it transcends everything. It transcends gender and ethnicity and race and every boundary. Music is kind of the universal connector, I think.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Oh my Lord, there's fireworks going off in my neighborhood. What is that? It's not a holiday.
That's not very Nashville of you, actually.
It is. It's like Berwyn. I live in a suburb that seems to be all about fireworks. I think we have more fireworks in this little town than the rest of Chicago combined. It's all about fireworks. So I apologize if anybody's hearing large explosions from my microphone. So I'm curious. One of the things that when I was looking at your bios again and reading, you know, some of the amazing things that you've done, one of the things that popped into my head was, you know, do you have people that you look at in your career, other songwriters, other singers that you look at as being really inspirational for you, that really sort of help, like when you're writing a song, that really help drive you?
Dolly Parton.
Well, Dolly Day is coming up.
Oh, yeah, September 25th.
Oh my gosh. We met Dolly Parton last year.
September 25th.
And that will forever be Dolly Day in our books.
It's actually in our calendar.
It is.
It's a national holiday.
She is someone that, you know, obviously the music and her voice and her songwriting is legendary.
On her guitar playing.
Her guitar playing with those long nails.
The fingernails clicking away.
But I think it's more about like how people have overcome adversity and how people have overcome just working in this business, because we all know how hard it is to follow your dreams and to kind of stick with it. So I think that in a way we are, you know, rooting on and loving and inspired by anyone that is out there going for it as well. You know, there's tons of bands that we are all different, you know, fans of, and we just love discovering new acts all the time. I think it's just, you know, we're inspired by inspiring people, you know, people that just don't give up.
Yeah.
So who's somebody recently that you ran across, like a new band to you that you go, oh gosh, that's a great group?
Oh man, I like Surfaces. They're a pop duo out of Dallas, and they have kind of this reggae. It's really like very catchy, positive, and it's fun music. So that's kind of my new fave.
Yeah. We love Need to Breathe. We think, you know, they're just a really fun, you know, Americana, Christian, positive group. You know, we also love a lot of the classics. This girl loves Zeppelin. And we love the Eagles.
The Eagles. I like the new, like,
Midlands.
Yeah, they're newer.
I think that probably the common thread in all of the bands that we're really liking right now is that they're really authentic in what they're doing, and they're not trying to merge into any kind of lane, because that's what we're chasing right now as well. So it's kind of like do what you love or what you're good at. And
own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my latest one is actually another Nashville group called the Arcadian Wild. Have you ever heard them?
Oh, I have not.
Oh, look them up. It's called the Arcadian Wild.
Love the name.
They're amazing. I was so sad because they were actually going to be playing a gig literally 5 blocks from my house at Fitzgerald's, which is this great club in the suburbs here in Berwyn. And just a few days before the governor of Illinois forced us back, like where basically Cook County, where we are, forced us back a phase. And so they had to cancel the gig at the last minute. And I was so close to getting to see them live, but I think you'll vibe on them. And they're from Nashville.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh wow.
Yep. I'm always looking for new. That's why I always like to ask this question to people, especially people in the industry, because I'm always looking for somebody new that A, I can just love listening to, or B, might be able to eventually show up on our stage.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, you have to come back again.
Oh my gosh. We would
Absolutely. And one of these days, let me know if you ever put together a show that merges towards holiday tunes, because I'm always trying to find something new and different for that holiday season.
We were actually just talking about that.
We were.
In our little creative realm, we're toying with putting together some sort of holiday music package.
Sweet.
And we joked that maybe we should do a holiday tour like in Miami. But I guess we'll come up north to you.
definitely.
Yeah, lights on palm trees, flamingos instead of reindeer. I get it. So Amanda Hansen, who is our assistant technical director, is backstage right now on this broadcast, and she just posted, "Yes, please," because she wasn't able to work your show. She had a conflict for that, and she was totally bummed because your show was like the one single show of the whole season that she was the most excited about, and she couldn't work it.
Well, before we commit to any holiday touring, you're going to have to tell us what your favorite holiday song is, so we can put it in the consideration file. That's right.
Yeah, I'll have to give a little thought to that, because I have my favorite religious holiday songs, and then I have my favorent not religious holiday songs.
I put them in different categories as well.
Think harmonies.
Yes, let me give that a little bit of thought, and I'll
Request now.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
request
so-
I'll Be Home with Bells On by Dolly Parton.
Oh, I got her. Right.
Yeah, I have to say I am a huge fan of Dolly Parton, and one of my favorite quotes I just ran across the other day was the quote where she talks about people calling her a dumb blonde, and she says, I don't worry about that because I know I'm not dumb and I know I'm not blonde.
I can relate to that. Right.
Well, I used to be blonde, but yeah, it's a little more flesh tone now. So we're almost out of time tonight, but I wanted to find out from you, is there anything that you wanted to let people know about that we haven't talked about? And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to put up your website and social again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So basically, I mean, I think the best thing for us right now is, in this time, we are, funding this next record. We just did, some interaction stuff with our, we have what's called the Farewell Family. It's a group on Facebook, and it's all of our fans kind of gathering in one spot, and we interact personally in the group. And
frankly, they've taken off. They just interact with each other.
they've
And like
taken over.
occasionally, we're like a little,
We're like-
spice
we're
of life.
fluttering in, fluttering out. But yeah, we have, really gained this family that we rely on and love, and they follow us throughout the country, and we're kind of reaching out to them and anybody that wants to hear new music from us to help with this farewell fundraiser to raise money for our brand new record.
For new music videos as well.
Yeah. So you can go on farewellangelinamusic.com, click the farewell fundraiser link. Andrea and our team have created this whole platform so that we are, we're not relying on an outside source. We're not relying on Kickstarter or anything like that, because we just decided to make it ourselves, keep it in house so that we can do more and get the music faster to you. So you go on there, you can buy the CD in advance. You can buy some bigger packages that will really
wine glasses, virtual concerts,
Yes.
in-home concerts.
Signed violins.
Signed violins.
Yeah, the violins are really cool.
Yeah.
Dinner, just so much. So it's a way for us to still be able to give stuff to the fans. Like, we're not just asking for money, but kind of in advance, like buy the album in advance,
like
and
pre-order.
And we will give you, all this new music. And
It allows us to go into the studio week.
We're going on Friday.
We've already had a significant amount of like the start of our donations, and so we're able to go into the studio this Friday to get
Awesome.
beginnings.
Yeah,
started.
so excited. We really are thrilled with the songs we've selected to go in with, and we have this amazing new production team, and we're
Ready to
pumped.
go.
We
Yeah.
are pumped.
And if you follow our socials, like you were saying, Instagram and Facebook, we're going to be doing a lot more interactive stuff in this downtime, so a lot
Great.
of live. We just did, actually today, we did a live with some new songs that might be on the record. So head there, you could watch our live and hear, fresh new music that we're just doing here in my living room.
Insta and Facebook. Actually.
Yeah.
Great. So I've got both the Insta and the Facebook up on the screen right now for everybody. And then a reminder, the website is farewellangelinamusic.com, where you can go and donate. Donate early, donate often. That's what they say.
Thank you so
So
much.
I just want to say thank you so much, because I know you've been rushing around, and this was a lot to ask you to jump in and do this right when you get off a plane. So
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. Tommy, thank you so much. And, there's certain people that kind of stick out in your mind, and you were definitely one of them last year. I mean, just having the whole thing like after the show set up and all that.
Perfect host.
Incredible audience that you have there, and an incredible facility. So anyway,
We'll be back
super cool.
if
We'd
you'll
love to
have
have
us.
And you also care my 4th grade teacher, which I greatly appreciate.
Yes.
oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes.
Right. Lulu, Miss Lou Ann Louch. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be taking you out of the broadcast stream for just a minute while I do my little close off. But if you have just a few minutes to stick around after we close the broadcast, then we can just chat for a couple of minutes off camera. So thank you so much. Cheers. I don't have my wine glass with me, but I'll do a voto Sante.
You have it in your mind.
So thank you. And I'm going to take you out of the stream, but I'll be back in just with you in just a few minutes. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining tonight. I always have such a good time on these, and this was wonderful tonight. It was just what I needed after a long, stressful day of driving back and forth to work for the first time in forever. So here we go. And those of you who've ever been in our Performing Arts Center know how strange it is when you're the only person in that entire gigantic building. It's a little weird, but making the best of it. And as I said, I'm trying to do other stuff to keep myself excited. And we're doing this every Tuesday. So please join us. Next Tuesday, I'm interviewing one of my great friends from the city of Chicago, Jessica Deere, who is the artistic director of an amazing dance company called Chicago Dance Crash. And if you don't know anything about Chicago Dance Crash, go check them out. They're a unique company that I don't know anybody who does anything like what they do. And last year we commissioned a brand new world premiere work from them that was spectacular. So I'm so excited to be interviewing Jessica next week. And then starting on September 8th, we move through a series of 4 weeks where I'm interviewing artists who can help us celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So I have 4 wonderful artists lined up, all of whom represent different aspects of Hispanic culture and people who have been on our stage in the last couple of years. So check out our website, go to Facebook. This video, like all of them, it will be archived on YouTube, so you can go back and watch it at any point, or you can send the link to your friends. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. I'm going to sign off now, and maybe it's time for that glass of wine that I haven't had yet. So thank you all so much for coming, and I hope to see you all joining us again soon.